That's scaring me. What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka my nipples are scared in the dark, aka who let these damn hoes in my house, aka who gonna put the damn butter back in the refrigerator. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 42 to be exact. Today's date is February 13th, 2020. Right before Valentine's Day. I'm lonely. You know, it's okay. You know, everybody with their loved ones, everybody getting all booed up. Everybody gonna have a lot of nasty sex and stuff. But it's okay. It's alright. You know, I got a Yakuza Remastered Collection. That's Bay right now. You know, we hanging out. We not sure if we want to be serious or exclusives yet. But, you know, I'm kind of tempted by Modern Warfare 2. So, you know, I like having options. I mean, I'm not all this monogamy stuff. I mean, that's for the birds. I mean, I like the choices, you know what I mean? So it is what it is what it is. Yeah. So for those that don't know, this is Switches Sites podcast. The podcast where I talk about gaming and pretty much gaming and all nerd related other stuff as well. So welcome. A lot of interesting topics for you this week. Also, just came from Sonic, watching Sonic the Hedgehog. Got some thoughts on that as well, at least towards the end. Actually, let me put that in case I forget. Boy, I spelled that wrong. It's okay. So yeah, let's stop the dilly dally and get into it. So I say first notable tidbit of news came out this week is the dare I say father of gaming coverage, Geoff Keighley, announced on Twitter that he's skipping E3 alongside Sony as well. So this is pretty big, I'd say, in my opinion. Geoff Keighley has been very close to E3 pretty much throughout his existence. So for him not to be involved with E3 anymore, or at least this year, says a lot about, you know, the state of E3 this year. And that's pretty much some notes of what Geoff Keighley covered in terms of his basically his particular stance of why he's not going to E3, basically along the lines of that he's not really liking the direction that this event is pretty much prepped up to be going, where it's going to be seemingly kind of more focused on pretty much everybody but the industry, technically, in a sense, where it's going to be more, I guess, you know, personality focused, like YouTube, Twitch, other popular streaming platform personalities, more so than just the event and spectacle of E3, which is what we've traditionally, at least from kind of the viewing standpoint, got the impression of pretty much all these years. So that's a big one. So I mean, I feel like this is going to be a trend with a lot of other people backing out, especially pretty much not the big hitters going up there anymore. Now, of course, Geoff Keighley with his impeccable coverage, pretty much all these E3s up until now. So I think the SCA is scared. They're definitely attentive, and like, you know, that's a big hurt for them. I think so. And I think that it's sending a message for other people like, well, maybe I shouldn't go to E3 now too. So, and I think you're starting to get, I'm starting to see some of that trickle. Some of the YouTube personalities aren't going in addition to. So it's going to be interesting. It's like now I'm like, this was, of course, this was the year I was debating like, man, I should probably go this year. And of course, now this is pretty much doesn't seem like a good year to go. I mean, of course, you got the new consoles though, but PlayStation's not going to be there technically, at least to show things. So, yeah, man, it's an unfortunate tone that's being set for E3, I'd say. Yeah, I think this is at least some indication of it slowing a slow and painful death if they don't listen to, you know, the gaming industry and maybe just straight up change it back to how it was before, where, you know, just cut off the public like it did before. I think that's kind of the start of it diminishing in some ways. Hard to say, but I think that was a big factor that I think at least the people that have always been there have kind of ran into. So I mean, if it's a sacrifice of the potential of me ever going, I mean, I on top of that, the fun of watching E3 generally and getting actually the most coverage is from home anyway, and not being at the event. And then, you know, you've seen that with a lot of gaming publicity as well, or even gaming media, like Kind of Funny, I think Easy Allies to some extent. They kind of show up for like some of the appointments and stuff, but for like some of the events and things like that, they do it from their headquarters. But you know, they're kind of a particular scenario because I know they're somewhat close to the location and to E3 too. So it's a lot of variables, but this is a big strike towards the ESA. Very interested to see how things are going to play out closer to E3. On top of that, E3 apparently leaked its own website technically, where basically they were revealing that they were going to open up registration but didn't open their site yet, but I think they somehow did. Yeah. Not looking real good for the ESA. This coming from the people who basically revealed all the information from all the journalists and media outlets that were signed up and attended E3. So not a good note to start on, man. Boy, yeah, it was like, please hack us. We're the ESA. They might as well just to put that instead, really. Boy, not a good look. In line with the enticing E3 news, I think probably in a attempt of desperation to kind of damage control people, you know, pretty weary going to E3. I would assume at this point too. Basically, the major publishers are confirmed for E3. I'm pretty sure probably some side ones and stuff like that, but at least these are the bigger notable publishers. So you got Sega, Bandai Namco, Take-Two. I'm interested about Take-Two because they're tied with Grand Theft Auto. So Xbox, WB Games, probably NBA 2K, and I forgot the other notable series tied with Take-Two, but there's still that possibility. WB Games, Capcom, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Nintendo. So out of these, we know for sure pretty much Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square Enix have had their own shows. Curious to see if any of these other publishers are going to step up, because I mean, honestly, well, of course Xbox too. Honestly, especially Capcom, I think they have the repertoire to even do their own show at this point. But they've normally been showing their and debuting their games alongside the platform holders, Xbox and PlayStation, and even Nintendo in some cases. So I'm pretty sure Nintendo's still going to stick to its direct format, but I know they do have a presence there. They have always continued to have a presence there still, in conjunction with their digital outlet of videos. So not a bad lineup. That would be enough for me to still go and check out what they have still. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Unless I get a media pass, yeah, I'm not too keen to go this year, even though this definitely would be the year I should go. Unless, yeah, there's some enticing preposition that I'd be able to go personally. That'd be the only scenario I'd go, since I'm very close to it. But it's like, what, $250 to go? Ugh. For, you know, maybe to sit in line all day to play one game I really want to play does not sound too appealing to me personally. But yeah, overall, I don't know, man. It's kind of sad. Ironically, the year I'm like, man, I'm gonna go to this one, then everybody is starting to leave. I'm like, oh well, okay. Feels bad, man. Hopefully the ESA does some goodwill and changes in the long run, but it's gonna take a while. I mean, could do a complete 180. Who knows? Moving on. So, for those that don't know, PSA, Modern Warfare, has released and dropped season 2. Alongside of that, if you go to the main menu of the game, now they have they changed and adjusted the layout a bit. So now it does show like campaign, multiplayer, and spec ops. And then there's this weird, interesting, very, very peculiar option that has classified. So obviously it's unselectable, but interesting that it's just a fourth additional option there. Not like another previous game in the Call of Duty series, Black Ops 4, that included this pretty notable mode called Blackout, which is basically Battle Royale, which was his own separate mode as well. So pretty likely that we are getting a Battle Royale. I mean, I'm not trying to pull hairs or anything, but considering how popular that mode is in a lot of games now, and that's like the pretty much the hip new mode now, and Call of Duty has done it before, would find me hard pressed to believe that they wouldn't put a Battle Royale mode in their game. On top of that, you see a lot of the bigger maps kind of catered towards Battle Royale, or at least them flexing their muscles in preparation for Battle Royale, at least, because the ground war mechanic, or not mechanic, the mode, which is a multiplayer mode in Modern Warfare, where it's like 64 player battle, 32 on 32. So clearly they definitely are capable of the scale, at least closely enough to Battle Royale specifically. And then you have pretty much all the foundation of Battle Royale. In essence, you can parachute in ground war. There's vehicular combat, vehicles. Pretty much everything is laid out. They have pretty much all the elements of potentially having a battle royale mode for sure. So I think it's a pretty solidified deal. And to add more credence to that, um, apparently it was leaked anyway. So I believe they revealed it. It was leaked on Reddit basically. So it's apparently called Warzone, or at least Infinity Ward's version of Battle Royale, compared to Treyarch's version, which is Blackout. This one will be Warzone. So I think it seems pretty likely. It's pretty much a dead given. Makes total sense that this will be the new mode coming out this season, with season 2. Curious when that will be. It's gotta be within the next few weeks, I would assume, because this is pretty big. Um, I think it's Infinity Ward, or no, not really. Maybe it is, because if anybody would do it, Infinity Ward would drop this right on Valentine's Day for breakup relationships. I forgot, it was some company that did that. I forgot. Maybe they like released DLC right on or near the holiday, which they technically kind of did. It came out this week too, the new season. So I mean, if you don't have a girlfriend, because I mean, my girlfriend is, ex Basha. And, sometimes when I'm getting tired of her, I kind of fool around with PS4 too. So, I mean, but, so dumb. But I digress. Yeah. All in all, I think it's a pretty dead giveaway that Battle Royale is gonna happen. And boy, I think this is gonna be the one that's gonna really get me in a Battle Royale. I dabbled with Blackout. I've gotten pretty close. I've still never gotten a chicken dinner. That's always been my goal, just to at least get one chicken dinner. But that constitutes putting a lot of time into the mode and stuff. But now that I feel like I put a steady foundation in Modern Warfare in general, I think is gonna give me a pretty solid foundation to get a chicken dinner finally in a battle royale game, which I'm feeling in my veins. It's gonna come. This version, I'm gonna get it. Just you wait. So all in all, pretty damn cool. Another aspect too, while we're on Modern Warfare, is the patch specifically for season 2 and for pretty much all platforms has been significantly huge. And apparently this is going to be the last one. So like, I think for PlayStation 4, it is like 50. I think it's like 50 gigs for PS4. And then I think for Xbox, it was like 60 something. And I think it's the exact same for PC, 60 something. So, and I think the last season was pretty substantial too. So apparently what Infinity Ward has said is that this is in preparation, or this patch will basically make the other patches less and not as huge. So hopefully that is the case, because boy, man, whew, if this is the indication of next generation, boy, we are in for some mass storage. We gonna have to get petabytes in the rotation at some point or something. But so yeah, at least for those that were, curious and stuff, boy, that is a lot of data. Yeah, shoot, I was waiting for it to install the other day, I think Tuesday, and man, I was like, Jesus, took like 6 hours to get in the damn game. It's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully good and better terms. I think they're in the talks of optimizing the packaging too. So like you can kind of get rid of the campaign, and then which gives you more space for other stuff and things like that. So hopefully that does come to fruition and is actually true. But yeah, it's substantial. Moving on. And that good old Capcom news. Is you love to see it. So Devil May Cry, Matt Walker, the producer, dropped some more deets on Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. He said he had another announcement close to the release of Devil May Cry 3, and he revealed it. And what do you know? Co-op Bloody Palace has been confirmed with Virgil and Dante. This is greatness at its finest. It is an online co-op, but I mean, hey, take what you can get, and then apparently he said that you can, customize each character differently. So I guess apparently it maybe takes your data from the actual game, in terms of that. I'm curious if you can do 2 switches locally at least. But they make it seem like, because they specify that you can use 2 Joy-Cons or whatever. So that's at least telling me it might just be one switch that you play it on. But it would be cool, at least you can have local switch co-op. That'd be pretty awesome. But hey, I mean, we got more than we expected with this edition. This is definitely shaping up to be, for sure, the best edition to play Devil May Cry 3. Hands freaking down. You got freaking style switching. You could switch to all your weapons at once. I mean, not all at one time, but you have access to all your devil arms and guns at once, with this cool new weapon wheel system, which seems pretty enticing, pretty cool. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. And then, of course, the freaking Bloody Palace co-op. Boy, yeah, this game is going to be great. It's going to be great. This is definitely going to be, more than likely my favorite Devil May Cry now, because that was the only gripe I had with Devil May Cry 3 after playing Devil May Cry 4. I was like, man, if this had just style switching, this game would be damn near perfect. And of course, that's what we got. So, boy, who would have thought? The definitive version of Devil May Cry 3 on a Nintendo Switch. I'm all for it, though. I am all for it. You hear me? I'm all for it. And of course, Devil May Cry 3 comes out next Thursday, February 20th. So keep on the lookout for that. You can pre-order now, because I think it's download only. It might be a physical version in Japan, but I'm not sure about that. I do want to actually look that up though, because I do love me my physical games. Yeah. So keeping that Devil May Cry 3 positivity hype train going, Devil May Cry 5 just announced, the devs and, Capcom Unity really, that Devil May Cry 5 is now officially the best and fastest selling game in the franchise at 3.1 million. You love to see it. So hey, that just shows, man, Devil May Cry 5 is at its prime right now. Devil May Cry in general, really. So that's really good to see. I really do hope we get a special edition. Add Virgil. I guess it's gonna be weird to see how that plays with his not to spoil the game, but basically how that plays in the game. I'll leave it at that. Considering some story elements. And then Trish, Lady, hopefully maybe Lucia, maybe Nico. That'd be really great to see. I'm pretty sure they probably will save it for next gen. That would be my guess. They'll probably wait for next gen to come out and then port it directly to that, which would be cool. I like that. I'd be fine. Something to give me an excuse to play on the brand new console. I'm for it. So pretty cool. Still sticking in Capcom news though. It's been announced that Alex Wesker and Oswald E. Spencer are going to be masterminds in Resident Evil Resistance. So this kind of spices up a little bit. Makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm still very curious why Albert is not involved. I'm guessing he has to be in the game at some point. Other than this weird French wannabe Wesker dude that's consider I guess the main guy in this game, but pretty cool, pretty interesting to see how this is gonna play out. See how different she is and Alex Wesker. And I think they also announced the new 2 new maps, Casino and Abandoned Park. That's gonna be cool to kind of see how that plays out. I'm very interested to see pretty much how this game is. But I mean, this game is shaping up to be legit. So I mean, I'm definitely gonna give it some time and play it out. But Resident Evil Outbreak, you are not, and I still want it, Capcom, if you're listening. Okay, we still want Resident Evil Outbreak. We have not forgotten. To let you know, this is no constellation. This ain't gonna appease that burning, urgent desire to get Resident Evil Outbreak ported some way, shape, or form. Just so you know, Capcom, you can't get away that easy. No, you can't. Not on my watch. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely going to give it a legitimate try after I probably, play Resident Evil 3 like 20 times. It'll be cool to kind of satiate that Resident Evil, I guess, lust. Yeah, pretty much. Resident Evil lust / infatuation with playing this. So I'm all for it. In other positivity news, Tekken 7 has announced that it has sold 5 million units. This might be shipped, but still is pretty good. So this puts it, in terms of the Tekken series, I think fourth highest after Tekken 2, and I think the top is Tekken 3. So I think Tekken 3 is number 1, Tekken 5 number 2, then Tekken 2 number 3, and then Tekken 7 number 4. That's pretty impressive considering all of the Tekkens that have come out already. It's pretty good. Cue the Kazuya throwing his dad off and smiling weirdly, creepily gif. It's great. It's real great. Definitely my favorite fighting game. For sure, hands down. It's good to see Tekken back in his prime, because it's had his struggles here and there. Not majorly, but But all I'm just saying, Harada, if you listening, I'm just saying, I mean, if you I know you crushed our dreams last episode, confirming that the likelihood of, Kiryu not happening in Tekken, but I mean, if, Kiryu happen to be in Tekken, I mean, I'm just saying that's an easy 5 additional million there. So, I mean, all right, if you're trying to get these sales up, boy, that's going to get them sales up. And boy, you won't even be able to control all the money you're going to get with all this DLCing it up with Kiryu. Boy, shoot, you might as well just make Tekken without anybody and just Kiryu. Just mirror matches of Kiryu relentlessly. Just called Tekken 7 Kiryu Edition. And just Kiryu fighting Kiryus. Just maybe you just spice up a little bit. Just put Goro in there as well. You know, hell, just put the whole damn Yakuza cast. And damn, actually that would be. I'd play the hell out of that game. Just make a straight up fighting game with Tekken engine with all Yakuza characters. What? Wow, actually, I kind of want that now. I kind of really want that a lot right now. Wow. Yeah, boy. Considering all of the characters in the Yakuza series, easy. That's an easy fighting game right there. Boy, that's money. That's money on the table. That's money on the table, on the whole damn room. The whole damn room. You hear me? Boy. Man, that's an epiphany that just happened right now. Live, real time. Yeah, man. Boy. I would play the hell out of that game. Oh my goodness. Tekken, no boy. Tekken. Yaku Tekken. Yaku Tekken. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yaku Tekken. Yaku Tekken. Yeah. That's real good. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh. That made me happy inside. Just the thought of that. Boy. Whew. I'm sorry. That just gave me goosebumps actually, man. Yaku Tekken. Oh, that sounds like the one dude from EX Straight Fighting Fury. The black dude. Yaku. Oh man, I'd love to see that. Ugh. It's like now I'm kind of mad. It's like, why don't we have that yet? Ugh. Yeah, if Yakuza gets big enough, I think that'd be a solid choice in I guess a non-Yakuza game. A Yakuza fighting game. Boy, that would be great. Oh, all right. Let me stop just oogling right now over that thought. But man. Yaku Tekken. Let's play some Yaku Tekken. Okay. Well, on that note, that's pretty much all the news for this week. I guess there's one little tidbit I wanted to cover. Apparently that this came at least somewhat real time. Apparently reports, this is from the god ZooGX on Twitter. Apparently PlayStation, like I guess kind of like a follow-up to the story last episode, was that PlayStation was waiting on Xbox to show their price to, determine what they're going to do. So I guess in addition to that, another factor apparently is that the components for the PlayStation 5 are pretty expensive. Basically, having a price to $450 currently just to make one PlayStation 5. So pretty much that leaves the option up to PlayStation in terms of what they want to charge for it. So technically they could charge it at, $500 and then, take it wouldn't technically be too much. Well, I mean, it would, depending on how you see it, because, we don't have the reference of what it took to make the PlayStation 4, but, kind of having that logic in mind, you can see that's maybe what I could see why they're, kind of indecisive about how they're going to go of developing, or charging for the console. So I guess it still could be $400 to $500. So The likelihood, though, is probably going to be 500, considering how powerful this is compared to next previous generation, not considering the PS4 Pro. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Then maybe potentially Xbox could undercut them by going 400, or just come off the bat with 400, and then that's going to put PlayStation in a pretty hard proposition if they want to go match it or just stick with their 500 premium price in comparison. That's interesting. Gonna be very curious to see how that plays out. And then like I mentioned last episode too, is like, with the coronavirus and everything, how that's gonna come into play and or delay Xbox, the development of the consoles in general. Probably just create more scarcity, and then on top of that, probably just make the consoles more desirable because of the supply and demand factor that some companies have been doing pretty smartly, if you will. So cool little tidbit, a bit but tid. Cool little tidbit. So let's cover what I've been playing lately. And of course, probably the biggest, surprising no one, Modern Warfare. Actually, I haven't been playing too much this week, but at least for sure since last episode, I've definitely been getting a lot of time in. I was especially rushing for getting everything done for season 1 before moving on to season 2, because they cut off a lot of stuff, like pretty much, the battle pass earnings or rankings or whatever, as well as challenges, which you can get a cool little emblem. What else? Oh, that was pretty much it. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah. So I was at maybe 70 when we last were talking, I want to say. Last episode, but I put in that work. Your boy put in that work this past weekend, and I did it. I got to rank 100 with ease, thanks to the double XP and double pass XP, of course. Which, yeah, for that, I don't know where I'd be right now. But yeah. So, but then I had this struggling aspect, which I was ranting about on Twitter too, was that basically the last challenge that I had to do was to get a juggernaut in a match, which is pretty tough, considering, the biggest thing, considering now that Modern Warfare has skill-based matchmaking, so you can't just necessarily simply get into a game and expect like, oh yeah, this is going to be easier, just get into a game with people that are lesser than you, because I'm pretty sure, at least it felt like with Modern Warfare, Call of Duty in general really is like, they seem to match you more so by your rank than your skill, I guess. It kind of varies, I guess. I don't know. How's it going, Joey? So it's hard to say. I don't know, but I'd say it's much harder now because you're playing, the odds of you playing people at the exact same skill level is way higher now. So in turn, the likelihood of you demolishing the other team is pretty slim. So that all together makes earning the juggernaut really hard, I'd say. But with some things I wasn't too proud of, I did manage to do it. I did use some dirty tactics, if you will. So with great shame, I hate to admit that I did go into a ground war match, loaded up my Strela and a sniper rifle, and basically had the point man perk with me, and did shoot multiple kill streaks down with a couple kills here and there. It wasn't all truly, scrubbish. I did put some work into that. But with enough effort, I did manage to get the Juggernaut. Funnily enough, when I got it, right after I got it, I was like, oh yeah, I got Juggernaut on. I'm impervious to damage. So I go off the hill. I think I was on the quarry board. I forgot what it's called, but the board that looks like a quarry mostly. I go off the cliff and then I just instantly die. Like, well, all that effort I put into a damn Juggernaut, and that's what happened. Nobody killed me. I just killed myself. I was like, that's perfect. Sums up my gaming luck in general, I'd say. And oh yeah, and I think funnily enough, that same night I did get another legitimate Juggernaut after that. It was well, I guess maybe is what you determine as legitimate or not, but I did hit up the Shipment 24/7 playlist. I did possibly have Kill Chain on, and got enough kills and got to the point where I did earn a chopper gunner, where I may or may have not went into the upmost area, the little hidden crate up at the top that not a lot of people check, and maybe or maybe did not get earn a Juggernaut that way. But hey, I mean, whichever way you pick up, put it down, put it on its face, and then put it on its head again, I got a Juggernaut. Okay, so also got that 15 kills challenge too. So I mean, I did get it either way. I'm just saying. And then let me tell you, on season 2, first match I played on Rust, got a straight legitimate Juggernaut. And I don't even think I didn't even have kill chain on. Okay, I may have been like camping the tower that everybody does, but it was multiple instances where they kept coming up to try and kill me, but I kept killing them. So what does that say to them? They should have killed me, but they didn't kill me, so I got the kill streaks, and then bam, I got another Juggernaut. First match on Rust. That felt really great, but overall I did not get much time to put into season 2. But it was some interesting changes they made that I did like and enjoy, or just interested in all, that just made me kind of just interested to play the game more and see how it plays out. So apparently they switched some of the perks around, which is, I think it's a first in Call of Duty history that they've changed perks to different tiers. I haven't seen that before in a Call of Duty that I can recall, at least. Maybe it was a subtle change or what, but this is the first time, at least I remember, at least, that they've drastically changed perks in Call of Duty. Which I'm trying to think of the ones they did change. In particular, Kill Chain, they changed from a level 2 perk to a level 1 perk. So technically you can stack up. You can now use Kill Chain with Hardline, and was there another one that supplements your? No, I guess that's it. So technically you can, makes it easier for you to even get kill streaks now. So now you have Kill Chain mixed with Hardline. So now you can get like kill streaks that cost 1 less death, and on top of that, stack on top of each other, which is crazy to me. But it'll make getting kill streaks for these damn challenges I had to do season 1 much easier that way too. So that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. I don't got a problem with that at all. And there was another one, I think for EOD. EOD doesn't no longer, with the EOD perk, you can no longer hack equipment. You have to, or that's been moved to Spotter now, which is the tier 3 perk. Which made more sense because that's what it was like before. But I guess Infinity War wanted to change it up or something like that. But it makes more sense for being a tier 3 perk because when you think about it, that made EOD super powerful. I sure as hell was using it as like my top used perk because of that attribute, of course, of it. Also preventing you from getting explosive damage or reducing it, so you have time to recover. It was some other perk that I thought they changed. That might have been the only one that I could recall. Yeah, I think they made some slight adjustments in terms of some of the timing. It seemed to be more fair now. I think like recharge, which basically recharges your equipment every 30 seconds. I think they got drastically reduced in terms of the time to that you get a new equipment refresh. I think for the recharged one, you get more. What do you get more of? You get you recharge much faster now. So your the supercharged, I think it's called, that lets you charge your what is it? The one perk, well, the one attribute that lets you get stopping power, deadly science. Deadly science. That'd be a cool perk. Deadly science. The deadly silence perk. So that's pretty cool. And then I think not overkill, but double time. I think double time. I think the time is greater that you can spend running, and I think the recharge time is shorter too. So some very interesting changes they made. Very very curious to see how it's going to change the dynamic, change the so-called meta for what's going to be better than what. But it feels like it does balance things out much more though. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, I'm very curious. Can't wait to play this weekend to kind of get a feel for all that, see how everything plays out, and kind of go from there. I love it. I love it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to on that aspect. In addition, Phantasy Star Online 2, the beta, the 12-year-old game that's finally come and been localized to the West. The closed beta came out this past weekend. I got a chance to play probably about 6 hours overall. At least initially, the Friday, the servers were just gave up on life. I guess there was apparently some people that weren't registered that got in or something like that. I forgot. Something along those lines. I believe that's their explanation. But nonetheless, they remedied it, and basically extended the time until Sunday for that issue. I believe it was set to end on Saturday midnight, but they did extend it. So yeah. So I mean, overall, and this is my first time actually playing Phantasy Star. I've not played any of the previous ones. I've heard about them, but never, at least from gameplay, it didn't seem like enticing for me. But this is legitimate. Well, I guess this is legitimately like Monster Hunter before there was Monster Hunter. It feels like, obviously, you're not hunting one single enemy in this game, but you could tell at least a lot of inspiration from this game was put into Monster Hunter, or at least in some way, shape, or form, because the formula, or at least the kind of vibe and feel, feels very similar to Monster Hunter in that way, where it's like it's kind of a MMORPG, but it's like a light MMORPG. That's kind of some of the vibes I get, even though this probably hints to be way more extensive than Monster Hunter in a lot of ways too. So it was kind of an interesting contrast I noticed. But just the combat overall, it's like, wow, this is some pretty interesting combat in terms of just the flexibility. And then you have the multiple classes like Monster Hunter 2. But obviously, my primary frame of reference is Monster Hunter, which is why I'm referring to that. But of course, I know Phantasy Star did it first in general, for online gaming as well. I know even on the Dreamcast, I think you can play online, which was crazy when you think about it, with on a dial-up connection. Boy, just the thought of that is kind of crazy. But yeah, at least from what I played, the loop seems to be pretty interesting. I just felt like I needed to just get a grasp of everything, where everything was at, which is what a lot of what I was up to in that sense. So what's really cool is that your character does transition to when the main game comes out, so you don't have to make your character over again, because I totally did love my character, I'm not gonna lie. Ridiculous voice and everything. I posted some dumb stuff on Twitter about that. But yeah, it's overall I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm interested in playing more of it. I guess I didn't play enough to get a really good gist of what Phantasy Star is, but I did get a pretty good, just at least initial impression, which I thought was positive overall. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I attribute it to the since it's a beta, obviously, that did have some issues that were fairly distracting. One in particular was this weird kind of inconsistent stuttering, like kind of felt like random moments in the game, where basically like the game would just legitimately stop or freeze for like 2 to 3 seconds, very intermittently. It wouldn't be very consistent. It'd just be every here now and there when some particular aspect of the game loads, I guess, or whatever. But that was hugely distracting in a lot of cases. It seemed to happen more when I was in the lobby, more than when I was in like a quest, but it was still enough to be very much a detriment to like the quality of the game, I felt. So yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I'm pretty certain that's going to be fixed when the full game comes out. But it's definitely some aspects of the game that do feel pretty archaic, considering it's a 12-year-old game. That's kind of impressive when you think about it, though. But some UI kind of downsides, like in particular, like just simple shortcuts and stuff like that, like selecting multiple items at once and things like that to like delete or store. Then I know it was one issue I had with kind of getting the concept of storing items. I guess after I was just straight up deleting items or weapons that I think potentially can be used to make other weapons, I just straight started discarding them, because like there'd be times I'd be in a quest and forget to discard or store my items, and I just assumed that the game was like, well, I guess you have to delete them. But I guess in my head I didn't think I could just store them from where I'm at. I guess I just assumed the game didn't work that way or wouldn't let you do it that way, but apparently it did. After I was looking at some footage of the game in particular, and of course I deleted a lot of stuff. I did use some judgment and try to delete the more common and uncommon stuff rather than the super rare or stuff I invested money into. So yeah, but overall, I like the music is pretty damn good. I can see the loop being pretty addictive once you get in the groove of that. And yeah, it had this weird ass concert where it had this Hatsune Miku wannabe singing this concert at 8. That, I think that's another interesting appeal of Phantasy Star Online, where you have the people chatting and reacting real time to people, and it was just hilarious. Just see all the comments of just people just not like, man, this is horrible. What this is? Well, yeah, this is what Phantasy Star Online is about, or whatever. But it was cool. It's kind of give you just a good general idea of what Phantasy Star Online is like. I think the timed urgent quests are pretty cool. It's like pretty much like particular times in a day. There's some urgent quests that I guess you apparently get a lot of good items or higher rate drop rare items and things like that. I think at least for the beta purpose, you get some cool stuff when the game, I guess, fully releases. I think I got all of them. I may have not. I think I missed. I think there were technically 4 urgent quests. I only did 2 of the 4. So I don't think I qualify for all the goodies. I know one was a cool like Dreamcast item, which I definitely wanted, since I am a big fan of the Dreamcast. But yeah, overall, had a pretty good experience. I'm very interested to see more. Maybe get into the open beta whenever they decide to roll that out. I believe they are planning to release this sometime this year in the spring, I want to say. So I think it's pretty close. But we'll have to wait and see. I think they're also doing PC. So I think I might be good to join that too. But again, we shall see. So yeah, boy, I think I went into super duper detail with Phantasy Star Online. But yeah, I guess for somebody that's the first time playing that, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Then I got a little bit of Monster Hunter World in. I last minute, I'm like the dude that come in at like 11:59 when they close at like 12. So I came to the it was the last day for the, I think, general appreciation event, or whatever terminology they used, for basically Monster Hunter's anniversary of its release, where they had a lot of cool quests and bonuses, and I definitely wanted to do the Devil May Cry one, where you basically get to upgrade Dante's armor to the or at least the alpha version, or like the master rank version that is in line with Iceborne level difficulty. So I did that once. I did a couple other quests I thought I wouldn't be able to in a while, or like a year from now technically. So got those in, but overall it's pretty cool there. So just wanted to touch on that. Just I know there's some new layered armor options they added a while ago. That just seemed very daunting to me to at least tackle on now, with so much on the pipeline coming out, and of course my admitted addiction to Call of Duty 2. But yeah, still thoroughly enjoy Monster Hunter. This big gripe with me with Monster Hunter at this point in time is the fact that the PC version, which for those that don't know, Iceborne is out now for the PC. It came out in January. Is that like, I want to get the PC version, but then it's like I have to earn everything again, and I really don't. That's like 200 hours worth of time I put in the PS4 version, and I don't want to do that again for Monster Hunter. And just be something that just sounds so simple that they could do. It just at least lets you implement cross save, or let you import your data over, and then be a separate instance from your data that was transferred from. So kind of like how Grand Theft Auto Online did it, where basically when the PC version came out, or the Xbox One and PS4 version, where you can transfer your character from the previous gen, being PS3 and Xbox 360, to whatever new version you're on, and then they be separate instances of characters. So if you were to some weird ass reason you want to still play the 360 version instead of your Xbox One version, they will be separate after that, which is totally fine. Just anything to just not have me do everything over again, especially when I don't want to. I know they did implement some aspects to make that easier with the I forget what they called it, Master Guardian Armor or Guardian Armor in weapons, where those weapons are craftable at the lower level, but are way more powerful, or kind of like as if you had a Iceborne type weapon to demolish enemies and make ranking up that much quicker and faster. So, yeah, I don't know. And then it's like, it's weird that Monster Hunter World is still on this staggered, timeline between the PC and the console versions. It seems like it's got to be some point where they'll be both be able to catch up and be like in sync with each other. And I think that might be the moment where, ideally and hopefully that they basically decide to, implement, even better cross play as well as cross progression to some extent, or just cross transfer or something, just to not have me play everything over again when I feel like I shouldn't, considering today's climate in terms of with online technology, specifically from the game front, with Modern Warfare, of course, being a prime great example where it is cross progression, cross play. I can, if I want to just be butthurt on the Xbox, I could just, I hate Xbox, I want to play with Sony people. And then I could just go on Sony and still have all the same progress and items and everything. And that's, I think, the ideal world I think I want to live in, when that happens. I think it's going to gradually happen with time where that's going to be the norm, and that's going to be so great, especially now that the door is open now, where that's been proven to happen. That's still crazy to me that I could play Modern Warfare right now on Xbox with my PlayStation 4 friends if we really wanted it to. That is so crazy and surreal to me that that's a possibility now. It's surreal, man. It really is. So, but yeah, all in all, that's what I've been up to this week, gaming wise. I always feel kind of guilty. I should be playing more single player games, but it's like when I get into that niche, I just can't get out of it. That's kind of how I have been gaming behavior wise generally. I'll normally play a big beefy, not necessarily beefy actually nowadays, not really. Pretty legitimate multiplayer game, single player game, till I beat it. Then after that, I kind of like to decompress and play multiplayer in between games, single player games. And I feel like that's been a good rhythm for me personally. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now, where like I attempted to play some Nier Automata and Zelda, but I don't know. I feel like I just wasn't in the right mental space for it. So, I just used that kind of judgment and, I was like, let me just go ahead and start playing some more multiplayer, kind of get that out of my system. Especially me, I was kind of rushing to get season 1 done. Since I was for Modern Warfare, since I was behind for the past few weeks, which I think it seems like the general time frame for seasons is like every 10 weeks, 5, or I think it's like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. So at least for Call of Duty, I don't know, but yeah. So probably you might hear me next week Might get into yeah, I'm more than likely probably gonna mess with the Yakuza Remaster Collection, just at least get my feet wet in it. Since it's been so long, so I played that like 2011, pretty much that whole trilogy, 11 to 12, 2012. So might see me stream some of that on Twitch TV/HeySwitch. You never know. You never know. Just give me some Reese's cups, and hey, just give me with the hearts though. The ones with the hearts taste better than the traditional ones, because it is the season and I just want to feel good about eating hearts because I don't have one. That sounds super horrible, but super emo and horrible at the same time. But I digress. And also, let's I guess move into somewhat loosely off topic, even though this is totally in topic. I did recently just see Sonic the Hedgehog, and man, I have to say it was a pretty good movie. This is coming from somebody who was pretty a moderate fan of Sonic. I'm pretty much familiar with the general lore of Sonic, the characters, at least the primary characters. I played the hell out of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Those are probably at least my favorite Sonic games out of, the Sonic series in general. Pretty much after that, I kind of fell out of Sonic since then. I haven't really been, keeping up with the ones that came out pretty much after Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Yeah, actually, I hear they're not great, a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, so that's kind of at least giving you a reference of where my kind of fandom of Sonic is. But I mean, I like the character overall, of course. He's been so synonymous with the generation I kind of grew up with mostly. The SNES and Genesis era, where they had the infamous bad blood between each other. Sega Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and all that. So, but yeah, seeing this movie, I can tell you 10, 20 times over that that redesign was the best thing that was ever done to this movie. Cause good God, if they stuck with that original design, that would have made this movie atrocious. Cause on top of that, Sonic, he gets a lot of screen time, of course. And then yeah, that just would have been hugely distracting for me personally. I mean, for the kids who maybe aren't big fans of it, they probably would just, oh yeah, Sonic, blah blah blah. He gotta go fast. I don't know. I feel like even the kids probably would have been creeped out or scared, crying in the theaters because of how he looks, to be honest. Cause I mean, maybe it takes some getting used to, but just initially, it's not a good look. But I think it was a very wise decision that they did make that executive change and listening to the fan feedback of actually redesigning him overall, even though I believe it cost a whole lot of money. I think it was worth it in the long run, because that ultimately will make the movie more enjoyable for folks, including myself. And overall, I think just provide a much better movie. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's a pretty good, fun movie. Yeah, I think it hits all the beats I was kind of anticipating, expecting. Didn't go too over the board or over the edge with a lot of its existing material. Try to do anything drastically different from what we're expecting, or are familiar with in terms of the Sonic lore. And man, Jim Carrey, he was great, man. Boy, he had some some scenes where he had me pretty legitimate. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, in retrospect, yeah, Jim Carrey was the perfect role for Dr. Robotnik. He plays the expectations I have in my head of Dr. Robotnik from all the lore very well. He's just very, over the top, insane, crazy, full of himself, selfish, just the epitome of Dr. Robotnik. I think he was a fantastic choice of an actor to play him. I totally believed it. That was, I think, the other factor too. It definitely there was, of course, they did make some attempts and comedy attempts, and Sonic being the wisecracking speedster kind of trope, which that was kind of played a lot too. But it was fun. It was fun. My expectations were pretty low, but I mean, overall, I was delightfully surprised by just the overall vibe and feel of the movie. It was just fun. Yeah, it was just fun, man. That's the best way I can describe it. This is from somebody who's been a pretty moderate fan of Sonic and is familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog and the expectations and playing the games and stuff. And yeah, I loved all the nods to the games and things like that you can pick up on. Yeah, and love the interracial couples. Okay, whoop whoop. I mean, just saying, you don't see a lot of that in movies. Well, yeah, in particular movies, really. I mean, last one being really legitimate, Get Out, but I don't think this was what they were going for. Yeah, there are some after scene credits which were really great. I have to say, it was really good. The mid scene, I guess it's technically mid scene credits, was pretty damn good. I was like, let's go. I'm all for it. So basically, big surprise, big whoop. One of the biggest known IPs that has got a movie set itself up for a sequel. That's all I'm gonna say. So it's probably surprising nobody, but I think the executive decision they did make to redesign him was the best choice they could have made. And seeing this now, it would have been it would have been horrible. It would have been so distracting and took away so much from the movie overall. But yeah, and that on it in of itself, I think just deserved me overall to I felt I needed to support the movie in either way, just based on that alone, because you do not see that nowadays with a director actually being receptive to the feedback. Obviously, you can't just be changing anything willy-nilly just because a couple people say it, but I think the the backlash was pretty substantial to the point where, like, hey man, we probably might need to change this because man, this might not bode well with everybody. And sure enough, they legitimately went on their word, because everybody was, man, this is not gonna work out. But I have to say, man, it was very worthwhile that they changed that. However much it cost, like $50 million, I think, or something like that. It was worth it, because this movie was way better because of it. Just seeing him as a character, he doesn't look just fugly, and especially some of the moments that they present to you, he looks more likable, more charming than man child, man beast from the dead. Basically just nightmare fuel Sonic, whatever. So without spoiling too much, I was very satisfied with the movie. Actually, I was very surprised, to be honest. My expectations were they were pretty low. So I kind of wasn't on really what to expect. I mean, you had some of the trailer references and stuff like that, but overall, I think I liked the overall just vibe, feel, pacing of the movie. It did what it needed to do, and then was done with it, which I think I appreciate a lot. Had a positive message with everything. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm not gonna okay, I'll touch on this one aspect. You could tell, and it's weird, it's like I've been watching a lot of cinema and gaming sins lately, so the downside of that is, like, it's now like jaded me to watching movies now, where I'm now looking at movies with a very negative cynical standpoint, where it's like, oh well, up common trope here, oh boy, up common thing here that nobody does. And then you I found myself really analyzing this movie on like a very a way I normally haven't, which is funny. But even then, it's like I still enjoyed watching the movie overall. I think it was very fun. And man, I have to tell you that that teaser at the end, I'm just gonna say, it was like Power Rangers. That's all the Power Ranger movie that'll never be. But I'll just give you that. It gave you that was a pretty hype whatchamacallit, I forgot what you call it, mid-season teaser, I guess, mid movie teaser, whatever. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on Sonic. I think it was a pretty good movie, actually. I'd watch it again if, I don't know, prices out here though, they a little expensive. I don't know if I watch Sonic again, but if it was in the house, somebody rented it on DVD, they're like, hey, you want to watch Sonic or something else? I'm like, you know what? I'll put that Sonic in, go ahead and put that Sonic in, So yeah, outside of that, that's been pretty much this episode of Switch of Sights, I guess. Not sure, I felt like I was trying to go somewhere else, but my mind just gave up, so I gave up with it. Yeah, so if you'd like to submit any questions to the show that will be answered if and when I get enough questions, feel free to submit them. At aswitchtv@gmail.com. If you are listening to this podcast on your respective podcasting platform, feel free to provide any feedback, positive or negative, just to help this podcast grow and be the man that it wants to be someday. I know that kind of sounds weird coming from like a deeply voiced man, but suspension of belief, just suspend that belief a little bit for the sake of this argument. What else? Oh yeah, you can catch me streaming this podcast live recording on Twitch TV/aswitch. You can also catch my YouTube that I'm trying to put some work in at some point or another. youtube.com/aswitch. Is that it? I think that is it. So another week down. This one in particular, no bay this year. Well, it's been a minute actually. Valentine's Day with no bay. That'll be the slogan. Valentine's Day with no bay. But you know what? I told y'all, all right? I got Expo Quisha. I got P4. I'm gonna be okay, all right? I got women that love me, okay? They love me. They don't talk back. They don't give me none of that fuss, all right? Okay? So I'm gonna be okay. Don't worry about me, all right? My Valentine's Day is secure, okay? Thank you. Mind your business, all right? I don't know why I'm being defensive for no damn reason. All right. On that note, bitterness of being single aside, thanks for watching. And as always, actually, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna try something different. Tell me something better than what? And you know what? Let me do it in a deep voice. Tell me something better than what? All right, that sounds a little creepy. So you know what? Let's go with the original. Oh.